Good day, as you know, I am Kaylin, and in today's training session, we're discussing the equipment function of the HR section. As mentioned before, you need the HR module enabled in order for you to see the HR functions on the left-hand side, and you also need to activate that certain feature in order for you to see this. If you do need to activate any features, you can go to the Jumpstart menu. You'll see there's a HR section here, and your first step would be select resources to use. In this step, you can go and specify which functions you would like available in the HR section. Once you've selected what you would like to use, you can also go and specify some default reasons, or like certain like selections and things for offenses and actions, etc. So you can go and specify those in here. Once you've done all that, you can then simply go and add in those records. So as mentioned, today we're going to be discussing the equipment section. So I'm going to show you how you can issue stock out. So let's say you've got a workshop and you've got guys that are using certain tools, and you need to keep track of who actually took this and when was it returned, in what condition was it issued, and in which condition was it returned. So in your browse equipment window, I'm just going to move this to the middle, you can click on the add button, and it'll pop up with a update equipment issued screen. So in this one, you can specify then which employee actually took that that piece of equipment. You can go and specify on what date did they take this, and even then the time. Obviously, when you're going to add that record, it's going to be in set that time to what it is now. And then you can also go and specify what type of equipment. Now you can go and pre-populate this list. So if you know you've got a jigsaw, you've got a hammer that you issue out, and etc., you can simply go and right-click, click on Insert, and you can go and put in your description. Now, if it has a specific equipment code, so let's say you've perhaps engraved like a internal serial number on, you can then go and specify. So let's just say we've got HR1, we've perhaps got 2 or 3 hammers that we can issue out. You can go and add in multiple. So let's just say we've got another hammer there, HR2, and it will be a hammer again. There you go. Sorry, let's just see. Let's just call the second hammer. There you go. Okay, so you can go and do that. Select whichever equipment it may be that you've issued out. Again, you can also put in a serial number there. So perhaps in that equipment one, you might have had an internal code, for let's say for a jigsaw or whatever that you use, but there's also a serial number on that device that you want to specify. So you can simply then type that in there. You can also go and specify the condition. So this would be the condition of the equipment when you actually go and issue, before you issue the equipment out. So perhaps this is a new hammer that we've just bought. You can specify that, and you can also, once again, you can right click and you can go and add in extra options here. So let's just say we're going to add in a third option. Perhaps let's just sorry, I'm going to right click this. Let's call it damaged. It's going to sound slightly better. Damaged. There you go. And at this point, it is still a new hammer. So we're going to issue that. And by whom was this issued out? So you might have one guy that's in the store, or there might be 2 or 3 guys that handle that, depending on the size of your company. So let's just say John actually issued this equipment to Robert. And you can also then specify when should this be returned by. So I'm going to say this needs to be returned by tomorrow. And then you can click on OK. Now, once Robert actually brings back that hammer, you don't need to go and add in another record. You could simply go and change this record, and you can specify that this has now been returned. And to whom was it returned? Perhaps it wasn't returned to John. It was now returned to Mr. Daniel. There you go. It was returned to that. And on which date was it returned? He worked pretty quick. He finished using it within 1 day. And then you can also go and specify the condition again of that. So I'm going to say it still looks pretty new. It's not not badly damaged or using looking like it's used at all. Okay, so once you've you can also go and put in extra notes if you need to go and specify that. Click on OK, and the record has been kept of that. You can then also, if there is multiple equipment that this employee has perhaps taken and you want to go and print a list of all those, you can simply click on the Send To button and you can send this to the printer or to save it as a PDF, etc. there in that, and keep track of that. So, as I mentioned in every video, it's nice having this functionality because of the fact that you can keep everything in one place. So you can quickly come and reference to this. If let's say something is missing, you can come and check, who was the last guy that had this, and did he ever return it? Perhaps then John comes and says, yes, but I remember I gave this hammer to Robert to use. And you can come in here and you can check and you can say, no, but Robert returned it on the same day he was finished with it. And you can know that, okay, everything, it was returned to Mr. Daniel, but maybe Mr. Daniel didn't go and put it back in the store. So then you can, inquire by him there what has been going on. So yes, it's a nice way to keep track of that. And, especially when, under normal circumstances, you've got equipment that just goes missing and nobody knows whoever took it, and was it ever returned, when was it returned, etc., etc. So that's the HR equipment section. Pretty nice feature to use there. In the next video that we're going to be doing, we're going to be discussing the history section, where we can actually go and specify the employment history of this employee, and even in terms of salaries and what their position was, etc., etc. So please join me for that video, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.